Hi, I'm Gibaud, and today this is a video a bit different than what I thought I would do. Basically because there is some emergency. I explain. A month ago, a bit more, I presented Luminar NEO on my channel, and many people liked it. Some people already used it. Some people actually used the special offers they were, and they actually use Luminar now. And some asked me how to actually develop a raw file. But what is the emergency? Well, the emergency is simple. Adobe is actually putting the prices up on January 15th. And if you have the 20 gigabyte offer, this offer disappears, so you already have it. You will have to pay more every month. Or if you want to pay exactly the same, you have to pay 1 year upfront and you keep the same price. So many people, before making this change, making this move, they want to decide if they stay with Adobe Lightroom or if they want to use something else. So I'm receiving a lot of messages of people asking, yes, but if I try Luminar, am I sure that I can develop a raw file the same way or get the same result or better or worse, or what will happen? Okay, so I've decided to make this video to show you how you can develop a raw file in Luminar, show you that don't worry, you can get the same result without any problem. You even have more tools, obviously, but still you will have no problem. So I'm going to show you, and also I'm going to show you the Luminar Mobile app for your smartphone, because many people who use their smartphone for photography, they also want to edit in the phone, so they want to have something that works, especially if they want to leave Adobe. They probably use or Photoshop Express or Lightroom for a smartphone, and they want to see if there are some alternatives. So I also show you a quick glance at this app. Okay, so I'm going to show you, but don't worry, that works. So let's start. Just in case you trust me, thank you, and you feel that yes, I probably can show you how to develop a raw file in Luminar NEO, and you don't need to go to the end of the video. Don't forget, I've got links in the description to where you can access Luminar NEO and also Luminar Mobile app. And I've got a discount code for Luminar NEO. With Eric 10, you get a 10% discount. This is on top of any offer they have. So first, make the discounted price with the offer if they have an offer, and then they take out the 10%. So please use it. That really helps me and also helps you. So that's fine. So now we're going to go to a screen capture mode. I'll show you how to edit, to develop a raw file within Luminar NEO. Maybe I don't show you everything of Luminar NEO, but obviously the part that many people that are using Lightroom, they need to know to see if this app is fine for them or not. Okay, so let's go for it. So here we are in Luminar NEO, and there are two ways of managing your pictures. One is to use album. You have got an empty album, the same as what Lightroom calls catalog. Okay, and the other way is to use single pictures. So I'm going to use single picture. I'm going to add two raw file here. Okay, they appear here, and I can then use them. The good thing is, if you don't want to use catalog, you can. That's a really good point. Here at the top you have catalog, then you have presets. Presets are the famous presets that Luminar has, but it's just presented different way that you have in Lightroom, but you have more advanced thing. But this is this is not what we are interested in today, because many people want to go on to Luminar. What they really worry about is if they can develop a raw file the same way or to get the same result as they do. So we go to edit here. And here we have all the tools that Luminar NEO offers. Here you see I've got the histogram. If I don't want to see it, I can go to view and then show histogram or not. Okay, so I show it. And to develop the raw file, I'm going here to develop raw. And here appears the possibilities. First, you have the camera profile, you have the Luminar default, or the Adobe standard, or you add custom DCP, or you'd use the DCP from a DNG. We're going to leave it right now at Luminar default. Then, as you can see, you have exposure +5, -5. At any time, if you're not happy with what you've done, you want to reset to 0 or to the original figure, you double click on the point, on the dot, and that's it. So for me, as I see, the exposure for me is fine. Then I've got smart contrast. I don't know why it's called smart or not, okay? And I can, as you can see, adjust the contrast. I'm going to adjust a bit more contrast. The highlights, as you can see here, my file is properly exposed, so I've got details there, but I want to have less white like this, so I just drop the highlights. At any time you can see the difference between what you've just done now and before and after, or if you don't like this way, you can press this small eye here and you see before and after. Okay, then the shadows, I can use it to lift this area. It's a bit see more of the shadows. Obviously that will affect the whole some shadows in the more shadows in the picture. Okay, here I've got the black and white. I can darken the blacks or lighten them as I want. Okay, maybe I darken a bit. Okay, same thing with the whites. I can push them or other than drop them down, depends on what you want to do. Okay, here I'm going to drop the highlights a bit more. Then I've got the curve, typical curve. You can have the general or for each channel. If you want to do an S curve, for example, typical S curve, you just push this a bit and then this a bit here. And same thing, if you're not happy with what you've done, you can double click on the dot and it comes back to 0. Here I've got the color. Like if I feel this is too cool, I want something to be a bit warmer, I can change the color temperature this way from 2000 up to 50,000 Kelvin. Obviously I can enter directly numbers also, like 5400 Kelvin, for example, or 50. Yeah, so you can see it's a bit warmer. As you can see, okay, you do see a change. Okay, you can change the tint, the saturation, maximum saturation down to 0, so that makes it black and white. Obviously, the vibrance, the sharpness. I can change sharpness. Let's say I want to see if this area, I want it a bit more to have a bit more sharpness. Let's put up to 10, for example. Okay, that's it. I can also change the radius and the masking. Okay, if I had a noise problem, I can same thing, change a luminosity noise or color noise. Here I don't have the problem, so I don't touch it. Then the optics, you have auto distortion correction like this. It check directly, auto fix chromatic aberration or auto defringe. Depends if you see the problem or you know the lens has a problem, so you could do it directly. You can also manually change the lens distortion. If you see if it was like a pinch or a cushion, you can change it. I'll leave it to 0. Same thing, as you can see, it's a bit darker in the corner here, so maybe there's some vignetting. I could actually de-vignette, and as you can see, corners get a bit lighter. For now, I'll leave it as 0, or I can push up a bit, doesn't matter. Just to show you, okay? And there's one thing I like is I can, as you can see here, I could have cropped because I don't want this building that is here. I don't want it, so I could crop. But first, what I'm going to do is a feature I like with landscape, because like you have Mount Teide, volcano is really far away, and it doesn't reflect as really as high as it is really because of the angle and the focal length I've used. Okay, so I can actually correct this, and I'm going to put just on the side of the building here. Okay, so that looks more realistic to what people have in mind of this area. Okay, and you could change also horizontally if you wanted. Okay, or also the aspect if I want to be taller, but that will probably change the reality shape, so I'll leave it in 0. Okay, but as you can see, I've corrected. So let's see before and after. As you can see, the area here, the whites, I could put the highlights a bit lower, even a bit more low. Okay, doesn't matter, it's just to show you. So right now, many people say, well, that's right, with this you can actually develop the role properly. but I think in my Lightroom I've got more features. Yes, you have, because they are all in the same area. In this software, in Luminar NEO, they are simply in another place because we understand they are not part of developing a raw file, but extras that helps to better a file. So as you can see here, I could say, well, I want to erase this cloud, for example. I could erase it. The same, I've got the erase feature in Lightroom, or I could go to black and white, and here say convert to black and white, and then work on the channel I want, on the saturation, for example. Here you will work on it and change all this. You will work on it exactly the adjustment as you want, all this. If you're not happy with it, you can go back, okay? Or you could say, I want to better the details, I want to sharpen a bit more the overall picture, I change that, all this. Or I wanted to change the vignetting, all this. Here you still have the sky change, sun rays, all this, but for me these are more retouch features more than developing raw, okay? But it means people who say, yeah, but I've got this and that in my Lightroom, I don't have it this. Yes, it is here. You also have layers. You can. I'm not going to show them because it's would make a video really too long, but everything you have in Lightroom, you find it here. So let's say you're happy with this and you go back to your catalog, okay? And then you realize that maybe the highlights could be a bit better. Well, what you do, you go back here and you say, okay, I go to edit. Go back to the develop section that is here. Oh, it's all back to 0. And this is the point where many people think that it's a problem with Luminar. They think that everything you want to change, you have to start from scratch every time. And that's not the way it is. As you can see here, the small gray out edits and a small dot. If you click here, you have a list of all the modifications you've made since the start of the picture. And this is great because actually when you look at things like this that correspond to the detail I adjusted, or the black and white, at the end I leave it in 0, I didn't change anything, the develop, or the noise less, if I change it, whatever, everything is here, okay? So it means I can actually change. But if you go back to Lightroom, this is maybe similar, that you have all your settings that's still here. But if you check with Photoshop, for example, when you edit a picture and you have the history list, actually if you go back up in the list, if you start again from upper change in the list, then you lose everything you have made after. In this case, no. For example, I can change the highlights. For example, I decide to change the highlights again, but if you check the details, it's still here. It didn't change. And this I changed after I'd been touching the highlights. So it's a really great point. You can actually access all the modification. This is a non-destructive way of working, and you can fix things you've made after or before all this without affecting the rest of your work. So for me, this is really, really, really a great way of working. So it's easy. As you can see here, you can still put the stars, the one you prefer. Yeah, you can value. As I said before, you can see the before and after. There are other things I didn't show you that I wanted to show you, which is the enhance. I like this. You could do that, and this is similar to, I would say, the when you have the you take out the fog of a picture, you can correct here, or sky enhancer, all this. Same thing, I've just done it. I go to the edit, and as you can see now, it appears here also in my list of things I've edited, and it didn't affect the rest. And if I change something in the highlights again, okay, it doesn't stop me from having the enhance still the same as I'd done. So this is really, really a great way of working. It's easy. Once, as I can say here, you can rate, but also you could, as when you have your list of all your pictures in Lightroom, you can actually copy settings and apply to other pictures. So you save a lot of time. So now I'm happy with this picture. I can export it. I click on export. I can export to disk, to message, or to mail. I export to disk. and here I show the options. I can lower the sharpness before exporting, medium, high, or leave it as it is, okay? I can resize to the long edge, the short edge, the dimension, or leave it as original, as I do right now. You can export in sRGB, Adobe RGB, or Profoto RGB. And then you can export to JPEG, PNG, TIFF, JPEG 2000, Photoshop, or PDF. Then you indicate the resolution. You can have in pixel per centimeter or pixel per inch. You have got 254, which is the typical to export to a lab, to a photo lab. For some printer it's different, 150 to 300, it all depends. So you check this, I put the highest quality, and that's it, and I save, okay? So as you can see, it's so easy. You have all the tools you need to develop the RAW here in Luminar NEO without any problem. So for people who are afraid of switching from Lightroom to Luminar, you will find not only all the tools you actually have in Luminar, in Lightroom, but also all these tools that are in Luminar and not in Lightroom. So you get a lot more. But if what you worry is just about developing a RAW file, you can do exactly and get the result you want within Luminar, forgetting about Lightroom without any problem. As you can see, that works really fine. It's really possible. And also the great thing is you don't just get this part of Luminar NEO, not just a part of developing a RAW file. You have all the other tools. So it's really a really complete tool. For me, this video is not a war between Adobe, Lightroom, or Luminar. For me, it's a war for every one of us who don't want to pay so much money for a piece of software, okay? Because I think that's not fair. Then from one day to another they tell you, well, or you pay a year in advance, or you have to pay twice more, or almost twice more for your Adobe suite. So that's not really fair. So this is my answer for many people who ask me, Eric, I want to go to something different, but am I making the right choice? Will I regret to have moved on to a different piece of software? So I wanted to show you so you make your own opinion. Now let's go to the mobile app so you can see what you can do with it. And by the way, if you wanted to help me, I can help you too. I've activated the member area of my YouTube channel. I don't speak about gear, I don't speak about software there, I just speak about photography. I speak about tips, about advice, about how to make pictures, making of all this. There is a join button just below the video so you can become a member and access exclusive video. Also leave you affiliate links in the description. Please use them, that really helps me. And as I said before, if you use the code ERIC10 on Luminar NEO, you get a 10% discount. Thank you so much, that really helps me. So let's carry on. So here I've got my picture I took with my iPhone, okay? I'm going to first correct verticality, horizontality if I want, and then I can crop a bit if I want. Okay, I should crop this way. I didn't, I touched wrong way. Okay, can crop, change whatever I want. Okay, so once I'm happy with that, I can change the size of this. Okay, that's easy. My app is in Spanish, but you will obviously get it in the language of your smartphone. So I click here. And now I'm going to go to the possibility. I've got automatic AI enhancements, as you can see, but I can still fine tune as I want here. I've got what would be the general exposure. If I want to go back to what I had, I just double click and it goes back to what I had. I can change the highlights, okay, with the H, then W corresponds to the white. Then the shadows to the S, obviously, and then the blacks here, okay. I can also change the contrast, say minus 100 or plus 100, so it's as you feel. Then the color temperature I can change also, okay, here. The tint also, and here you have the saturation, top saturation, or if I desaturate completely it becomes black and white, as you can see. Then I've got the vignetting. I can go to positive or negative. Then I've got the structure AI that will better the details and everything. Okay, the structure, the way it looks. Then you have the relighting. That's really great feature here. I can change the depth of relighting, and I can decide where I want to relight. In the background, for example, I relight on the, or in the foreground, I want to have less light on the foreground, for example, and decide how it's affected. Okay, the angle. For face, skin, and body, I'll show you after with another picture. Here, as it is a landscape, I can also decide to have the golden hour to make it more like this, okay? And also, I can play with the leaves, tree leaves, greenish. As you can see, more green, crazy green, or whatever, I can play with that. Then I've got the curve, I've got general curve, all for each channel, like red, green, and blue. I can do the typical S curve if I want. For example, I would drop here and put a bit more up here, for example. If I want to remove this, I double click on the dot and that's it. Here I've got the details. I've got the general sharpness here that is on the center, but then here I've got the S for the small details. Okay, if I want the medium ones, okay, and the large one, and I decide if it looks as I want. Then I can go to monochrome. Here I've got the general, but here I can use as if it was film photography filters. As you can see, they look different. Okay, so that's really nice. Then I've got some presets here, like the one here for landscape, and for each preset I can decide how much I apply, 100% or less. Okay, I've got several for landscape or this, but I've got more like for portrait, for everything here. I've got many options. Okay, if I don't want them, I'll remove. And then there's one thing I like here. If you don't want to spend time giving a look to your picture, you can straight go to films. You have creative films, tones for portrait, for cinematic, for yeah, more cinematic here. So let's say I want to have this look, or this one, and same thing for each look. I can decide how much I apply and work again on it after. So it's really simple to use. This one is called Mexico, for example. Okay, and this is the look it has, and then I can actually relight if I want, change a few things. Okay, I could keeping the look relight based on this look. Okay. And for showing you the feature for the persons, I show you here my face here. As you can see here, I've got a small stain on the skin here. I can actually activate this and it will remove it. Okay, you can see it is here, now it's removed. Okay, then I can decide on the way I soften the skin like this, soften a lot too much. Same thing, you can go back to 0, double clicking, and here as you can see the tip of my nose, I can remove the highlights there. Okay, if we look at body, here I don't have the full body, but if I did, you would see even better. You can actually reduce the volume of the body, as you can see, but take care, look at the door in the back, it actually changed a bit. Okay, but you can get a slimmer if you want. Same thing with the abdomen, but here you don't see it because the picture is cut. Okay, so actually you can see that with this app you can do many things within your smartphone. When you want to publish fast, quickly on your social networks, you can do adjustment, and this is great for people who don't want to bother with uploading to their computer all this, and they already do things like the Lightroom Express or Photoshop Express in their smartphone. They can do it with this Luminar Mobile. So this is a great little app that actually works really fine. So as you can see, it's a fine little app that works really fine, and that's easy to use. Actually, when I make picture with the camera, I use my computer to develop RAW and edit pictures. But when I make picture with my smartphone, I develop or retouch a picture within the smartphone. So I really love this app. It's easy to use, quick to use. You can upload straight away to your social networks. And I think this is great. And this is what it's made for. It's easy to use. So yeah, I think it's completely recommendable. So coming back to people who are doubting about Adobe, and actually have their computer Lightroom, and they also have Photoshop Express in the smartphone, or they have Lightroom for smartphone, and they're not sure if they can do the same thing, well, you have the answer right now. I think you can make your own opinion. So in case you would be interested in Luminar NEO, don't forget, I've got links in the description with the discount code ERIC10, and you get a 10% discount on top of the offer they may have, and also a link to the app for your smartphone in case you would be interested, the mobile app for Luminar. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The small button on here is a small bell. If you click on the bell, you will get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, you can leave a comment below. Also remind you I've activated the member area of my YouTube channel. There I don't speak about gear, no software, just technique, photography tips, photography advice, all this, and there is a join button just below, and you will get access to member exclusive videos. I'll also leave you affiliate links in the description. Thank you so much for using them. As I said before, don't forget, with Luminar NEO, with ERIC10, get 10% discount. Thank you so much for using it. I also leave you my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.